My name is Julie Mack, and on this edition of Montana's Best, we are going to explore the quaint and beautiful town of Thompson Falls. Thompson Falls, Montana got its name from David Thompson. Now, David Thompson was an early explorer, and he actually established one of the first trading posts here in River Valley. Now, modern day Thompson Falls has a population that is just under 1,500 people. Now, the other thing is too, 80% of the businesses are what you would classify as mom and pop shops. One of their historic attractions that's close to downtown is the High Bridge. Let's go check it out. As you walk along the trail, you'll come across placards like this. Now, you have the old historic steel bridge that connects people from downtown Thompson Falls to Island Park. And then you also have the historic High Bridge. Now, Island Park is just around 30 acres, and it has just under a half dozen trails that you can explore. This is ideal for people that just want to go out for a walk, go for a run, take the dog, or ride their bike. Now, a lot of people come here and they sit along the river to watch the birds. Now, since we've been here, we have seen just under a half dozen bald eagles. That is such a treat in itself to see. They've been squawking in between our takes, but also they have a bunch of songbirds here. Now, the Clark Fork River was named after William Clark, so there's a lot of history. The cool thing about this river is that it's one of the longest rivers that spans through Montana. It starts around Butte, Montana, starts going like north-northwest, and then it dumps off into Idaho. Now, we're coming upon the historic High Bridge. It was first established in 1911 to help aid the construction of the hydro dam. Now, over the years, people were able to travel back and forth on the bridge, but just like with anything, it started to deteriorate. In 1979, they actually had to close the bridge to the public. In 1986, it was put on the National Register of Historic Places. Over time, the locals and community members wanted to see the bridge back open. In the late 1990s, there were great efforts by the locals and community members to get the funds and to reestablish the bridge. Well, May 10th of 2010, guess what? Their dream came true. And now we get to explore this great bridge that goes over the Clark Fork River. Just look at this view. It's absolutely stunning. During the summer months, it's not uncommon to see people sunbathing, picnicking, and swimming, as well as fishing along the river. It really does boast beautiful views. It's calm, it's peaceful, it's quiet. Oh, and by the way, did I mention the fishing? Lots of fishing takes place here. The bridge is 588 feet long and 80 feet in height. Some of the locals were telling me, for a lot of the people that live here, that they don't even need to get into their vehicle. They just cross the bridge, go across the island, cross another bridge, and they're in downtown Thompson Falls. It's where they can do their shopping, go to the post office, visit with friends, and then when they need to go back home, they just cross the bridge and they're back in their neighborhood. It doesn't matter where you're at on the bridge. You do a 360 and you have a great view. Oh, as a matter of fact, there's a bald eagle up there. I bet he's scouting out his lunch. Once again, the river is known for great fishing, and we know bald eagles like their fish. So I'm standing here with Mr. Ray Brown, and he is the Executive Director for Sanders County Community Development. So Ray, I heard that you are the guy to talk to when it comes to talking about Thompson Falls. To my understanding, a little bit of the history of Thompson Falls is that it first started off as like a fur trading area, developed it into logging. What makes Thompson Falls so unique?
Well, Thompson Falls, it's off the beaten path. Very rarely are we the destination, right? You usually like either stumble across us or you are on your way to somewhere else, Glacier Park, Yellowstone, but everybody that seems to stop by here or drive through once always wants to come back and actually spend a day here. It's our immediate access to outdoor recreation. It's absolutely stunning here.
Honestly, what is it? Not even 100 yards off of the main road, and here you're able to explore things like Island Park and these great bridges.
It's one of my favorite things to tell people is that, have you visited Island Park? And they're like, what? You know, yeah, no, Thompson Falls, we have an island.
Yeah.
You know, and well, how do you get to it? Well, and this is incredible. You know, the mayor of Thompson Falls used to live out here on this island.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the house was, and this was just a swinging bridge that led out to it. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I did not know that. That's awesome. I know that the history within Thompson Falls and within the Sanders County in general is deep. Tell us about some of it.
Well, first off, I mean, our namesake is David Thompson. The Native Americans here, they called him Cuckoo Scent. And what that means is he who looks at the stars.
Aww.
When he traveled and he mapped, you know, everything around here, he would constantly have his navigation tools and he'd constantly be looking at the stars. And so, hence his name. And stargazing here is actually one of my favorite things to do here. We're very proud of our night sky. But then the second thing that came through here was the railroad.
That's right.
What happened is that, you know, the railroad actually stopped right here in Thompson Falls because of our rock. Then they went ahead and discovered gold in the Coeur d'Alenes right about that same time. And so the first pass was actually just to the west of town here. And that's where the first gold actually came over, was right out of the Coeur d'Alenes into Thompson Falls.
Wow. What's the big drive and go now for Thompson Falls?
Now, our logging operations are still a main factor here.
Sure.
We have one of 6 remaining logging operations in Montana still here with TRL. People are moving here. They seem to be the younger retiree trying to get away, trying to find that little escape.
So Ray, what advice do you have for visitors visiting Thompson Falls?
Oh man, well first off, get outside. You know, that's going to be the big deal. But when you are, and you do get out, just remember that this is a small town. You know, we care about this area very much. You notice that our parks are well kept, and there's a reason why. We want to be good stewards of our area. You know, we want to be good hosts, but we ask that you just, you know, you please be a kind visitor. Be mindful of the area, and just remember that the reason why it's beautiful is that we keep it that way, and that's how we like it.
Love it. Also, the businesses that are here, they're so quaint. I mean, some of these buildings are over 100 years old.
Oh, yes.
And I'll tell you what, there's a lot of mom and pop here, so it's a good excuse to come support the local businesses.
Absolutely.
Enjoy the river activities, enjoy the outdoors. We love what you guys have done. You've done a great job of upkeeping your historic attractions as well as your town.
We're very proud of our Main Street. You know, they strive to, you know, get together and host a lot of events. And you're right, you know, a lot of this is ma and pa, right? Over 90% of the businesses in Sanders County have no employees. That means that it is simply ma and pa doing it, and that is especially true downtown.
Yeah, so it's fair to say there's a lot of Montana-owned, Montana-made products that are around here.
Yes.
That's awesome. If people want to find out more information about the things to do in Thompson Falls or for the amenities, where can they go?
They can go to tour200.com or visit thompsonfalls.com.
Well, we're going to help people explore your great town here. Another great attraction to visit while you're in Thompson Falls is the Old Jail Museum. Now, it's one of the few jail museums in the state that's still intact, and it has a lot of artifacts and archives. We're meeting up with Vaughn Briggs, the director of the Old Jail Museum. Hey Vaughn, how are you?
Hi Julie, it's nice to meet you.
Well, we're excited to meet up with you and to learn about the old jailhouse.
I'll have you sign in first, please.
Okay, you got it.
The jail was built in 1907. The sheriff and his family lived on the first floor and the jail was upstairs until 1960.
Wow.
The last inmate was transferred in 1979 and the building was slated to become a parking lot. And then the commissioners approached the Thompson Falls Women's Club about community interest. The Women's Club did gather support and actually won the State Community Improvement Project for keeping it as a building. And then the Historical Society was formed shortly after that and has run the program since then.
So it's fair to say that a bunch of women saved the jailhouse.
That's right.
I love it.
And we're still their main supporters.
I love it.
This was originally the living room, and until 1960, when the sheriff moved out, this would have been one big room. Then the State Patrol came in and took over the jail, and they put this wall up, and this is one of 2 remaining walls from that time.
Take a look up. That right there is one of the original beams that they still have intact. This is a display of where they have all the keys. They actually have to use these keys today to unlock the jailhouse. Oh, got some nice vintage cameras right there. Oh my goodness, Vaughn, I see history.
Well, we just came through the main exhibit room. That changes every year. Last year was toys. Next year is going to be local businesses. So this room is called the Trapper Room, the David Thompson Room, the Fur Trader Room. Originally, there was a wall that extended across here, and the kitchen was here. The sheriff's wife did the cooking and the laundry for the inmates upstairs. In 1960, when State Patrol took over, they took this wall out, took the kitchen out, and in this area, they put a very large desk, which was booking and dispatch. So the prisoners would have come through the Sally Port door here, up the stairs, and up to the jail. A couple of things we'll point out in here is this box behind you is how the furs were actually transported.
Oh,
they
wow.
were a very valuable commodity.
Yeah.
And so they were well protected. Another thing in this room is our American bison.
Yes.
Buffalo are from North Africa and Asia. The bison is from Europe and North America.
I love it.
3 big distinguishing features: curly hair, muscular hump, and his beard.
And what is his name?
His name is Bill.
Bill, how appropriate. Now I'm seeing right here that this right here, this fossil of a bison is approximately 10,000 years old, and this was found along the Yellowstone River.
Yes.
That's incredible. I mean, here you can see something that's been approximately 10,000 years old, found in Montana at the Yellowstone River, still intact. Such a rare thing to find. And that's what I love about Montana museums, is that you can come and see things and things are still intact. Very cool. Okay, this is one of my favorite things. So on top here, you can see some of the original badges, but as you pull this out, you can see some of the original Forest Service badges. One of my favorite is the jewelry drawer. So ladies, this is where you come and you look at some true vintage jewelry. Once again, I mean, look at that, come on. I want to say it's costume jewelry, but I don't dare say that because I'm sure it's authentic. Look at the purses and the beadwork. This was done many, many years ago, and it's still intact, and it's gorgeous. And I'm really grateful that a museum like this has these things organized and available for us to go and take a look at it. This is where all the spectacles are at. Glasses have come a long way. Oh, men. Check this out. This is called the grooming drawer. So this is where clippers, brushes, I see razors in here. So throughout the museum, they have these little nooks where they've recreated some of the history. So what I found out is that this room originally started as storage, but then in the 1950s, it became a bedroom, and they put in a door that would go to the latrine area. Now they use it as storage, but it's a recreation of some of the amenities that people might have had back in the day in the kitchen area. Now, I was told this is Rosie. Some of the attire that she is wearing is what one might have been wearing. This door right here, it's all steel. So you can take a look over my shoulder. We can't go down here, but if you take a look, there's a baritone horn right there. To me, I want to call it a tuba, but I think it says baritone horn. But this goes down into the basement. What I really love is I've traveled throughout the state of Montana, and every time I come to a museum, what makes it so unique is that you're always seeing things from when it was originally made. So this being a jailhouse, of course, they built it to last. As a matter of fact, the door right behind you, made out of steel as well. So very, very impressive, and we're very blessed that we get to view places like this today. The display behind me is dedicated to David Thompson. So we see a replica of a journal, of the quill pen, of some of the things that he might have had on him. When he came into what we call the Montana Territory, it was during the early 1800s. Well, upstairs is Vaughn, and she's in the jailhouse. I'm excited to see what this looks like. Now you have to be careful going up these stairs because it's narrow and steep coming up. Vaughn, the temperature is changing up here.
Well, we don't want the inmates to be too comfortable.
My Lord, watch me sway, darkness falls, and we all pray, hoping for the light of day, down to the river.
So, this is the jailhouse.
So this is the jail. The sheriff's office was originally here in 1960 when State Patrol took it over. They moved it downstairs, put this wall in, and made it into 2 juvenile detention cells and a bathroom. We've retained the wall and restored the sheriff's office and a lot of the artifacts that would pertain to his office.
We're gonna take a peek. You gotta see this. This is cool. Oh my gosh, do you guys realize how many gun collectors would be losing their minds right now if they could see this? Sanders County map of Montana, and this is an original?
Yes.
Unbelievable. This is like awesome. History buffs, you're gonna love this.
So our next area is the women's detention.
Women's detention, oh my.
And we still have to use the original keys to get into the cells.
Can we just talk about the key? Oh my gosh, and it's the original.
It's one of the originals, yes.
This is over 100 years old, folks, and it's heavy. It holds its weight.
It does.
Oh wow, so this is where the ladies were at, huh?
Well, and you'll notice that there's a child in this exhibit also, and that's because often when women were incarcerated who did not have child care, that the children would be placed in with them.
All right, here's your master key. What else do we have over here?
Well, we have some pictures from the past. This is the back side of the Sally Port door, which we've seen downstairs. And this is a picture of the old courthouse and the jail.
Oh wow, you can see the jail right there. I love it.
And we say that the sheriff had moved his family to town, which is about 2 blocks down, because we really were kind of on the outskirts.
All right, on to the next room. Oh, so this is where the big jail is.
This is our display of the Civilian Conservation Corps. We had 5 brothers from the area that served in the Corps. We have some of their artifacts. These seats are from the Rex Theater and some pictures of the Rex. It's been around for quite some time also.
It's still existing?
Oh yes. We have gone into the digital age and it's now open. It had been closed for many years.
I love it.
And running first-run movies.
That's amazing. And that's a great thing for people to be able to look forward to doing. Oh, that's so cool. I love it.
So this is the men's cell block. Until sometime in the 1930s, these 4 cells would have been in the middle of the room. They changed the plumbing, and so they moved the cells to the outside. We have not had the resources to restore this part of it. So we've made vignettes out of each one of the cells.
Now, out of these little vignettes that you have, what's one of your favorites?
Probably the ladies' sitting room.
I love it. So and it's all authentic, right? Original pieces. Oh, this is amazing. So we have some nice fanciful purses. We have some long gloves, gorgeous jackets. My goodness, this is in now. Wow.
A little bit of history here. We have a book
talk about
downstairs that talks about the reward. We had 2 escapees. If you got both of them, you got $50. They have some very interesting descriptions.
Check these out. J.C. Armstrong, sentenced to 7 years in state prison for grand larceny. Description, age about 30 to 35, height 5'7" or 8 inches. Complexion, light, smooth shaven except for 3 or 4 days. Blue eyes, weight about 155. Has one leg having been amputated about 5 inches below the knee. Wow. Soft hat, black coat and vest, gray pants, blacks. Wow, they were like beyond thorough. They talk about chews tobacco, cigarette smoker, and is probably accompanied by a boy by the name of...
And he's also a glib talker.
It's very interesting looking at this because they were very, very descriptive.
They had no pictures.
That's right, they had to be really thorough. Wow, interesting.
And you can see the damage here on the brick.
Oh, so these escapees did the damage over here to the window. Oh my goodness, you're right. So they busted out the brick. Oh, interesting. So to this day, there's still remnant of the breakout. I'm sure it never happened again.
Nope.
Nope, they learned a lesson.
And
with
we
it.
were a short-term jail. We didn't keep people for months and years. We were strictly arrested them. They might be the drunk, the disorderly, spitting on the street type of person.
Yeah.
If they had been longer term, then they would have been sent to Missoula.
Got it. Got it. Very interesting.
And then this one is just kind of put together of what the cells would have looked like to some degree when the guys were there. And this is a 4-man cell. I don't think we were ever totally full.
You did not want to be locked up back then. 4 people, that's amazing. So 4, 4, 4. I mean, you had all of that up. You could have had
Up to 16.
16 here, and then you had the women's area.
We could have had 4 women.
Wow. Well, Vaughn, you have been very informative. This has been a pleasant surprise to stop on by and to visit. What really surprises me is how many intact historical artifacts that you have. And really, when you think about Montana's history, it really isn't that old, and it really wasn't that long ago that this jailhouse was thriving. Is there anything else that you think is really important that people know about the jailhouse?
That we are open from Mother's Day until the weekend after Labor Day, 12 to 4, 7 days a week. But if you happen to come through and we're not open, on our website or our email, you could contact one of us.
I love the whole small town feel when it comes to accommodating, to showing people. I definitely learned a lot. Well, let's go check out another attraction here in Thompson Falls. Thompson Falls State Park boasts 36 acres. Within those acreage is 18 campsites. Now, each campsite has its own fire pit and grill. For those of you that are bringing in an RV, they do have select campsites for you that include water and power hookups. For you tent campers, there's plenty to choose from. If you're wanting to explore the water activities such as canoeing, boating, swimming, there is access here. This is a common spot where people will come to sit, relax, but it gets better. Check this out. This is sand, real sand. So in the summertime, people come on down here and they go swimming, picnic, and a lot of fishing takes place here. So if you're wanting to book a campsite, get your fishing license, or anything that has to deal with a state park here in Montana, all you have to do is visit the Fish, Wildlife, and Parks website for the state of Montana. Plus, they have a phone number you can call as well. Remember, we're all about having you enjoy the state parks, but you must recreate responsibly, and you must have your licenses. What I really like about this state park is that there's a variety of things. For example, they even built a fishing pond right here so kids and people can go check out the fish, the frogs, the wild habitat that takes place. I've also seen deer since I've been here, just roaming around. And what's also really neat about it is that there's multiple trails. So people can walk on down to the river, they can walk through the woods, they can walk around the state park. Now keep in mind the trails here are non-motorized. The Thompson Falls Trail goes along the Clark Fork River all the way into downtown Thompson Falls. They do have bear lockers here. If you have a dog, they are welcome to come, but there are certain dog rules that do apply. Well, I'm leaving off on a beautiful note. The mountains are behind me. The water surrounds me. If you have not visited Thompson Falls, Montana, you need to mark it on your list of must places to check on out. Hey, you can check out a historic site, an old jail museum, or visit or stay at an absolutely stunning state park. Well, I'm Julie Mack. That's a wrap for me. I'm off to our next adventure.